Hey folks, joining Lone Oak Survival. So today we're going to be talking about navigation, what I carry, why I carry it, and what I think you guys should really consider putting inside your bug out bag, home bag, guys. So stick around, please. All right, so like I said in the intro, guys, we're going to be talking about navigation. Okay, and again, this is Jordan with Lone Oak Survival, guys. You guys know who I am if you've been watching my videos. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you're new, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribe. Just like the intro pointed you to do such a thing. It'd be great, guys. Help my channel grow and defeat the YouTube algorithm. So, that being said, navigation. I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I don't really like relying on technology. Why? Because batteries fail in extreme heat and cold. Along with that, your little rinky-dink GPS, say you have some kind of unit with you, you can drop it, you can lose it, it can get stolen, it can get lost. Whatever's going to happen, guys, you might lose it. And then if you don't have a map with you, a physical map, you're kind of SOL. Now, same thing with your cell phone. A lot of people are like, well, I have my phone, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's places that don't have cell phone reception, believe it or not, in this world. And if you don't have cell phone reception and you're trying to use Google Maps to navigate to wherever you're planning to go or bug out from, that can be a problem as well, because then you can lose signal, thus you're going to lose your place on the map, and you can be way off course if you get signal again. That being said, too, if you kind of sort of believe that the government may or may not be trying to kill us and formulate a plan for world domination through the WF and NWO, and then, organize New World Order and New World Government and blah, 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 just kind of stuff like that, just maybe shouldn't really bring technology that tells them, per se, exactly where your location is in the world. Just, if you're concerned about that, just throwing that out there. Now, the thing is this, though, okay? You want to look at maps in a serious manner, okay? And I know there's a plethora of different types of maps out there, but to me, okay, personally, the four main categories are, more so, in my personal opinion, the worst are the road maps. Why? Because, yes, it shows the roadways, towns, bodies of water, forests, stuff like that. They're not very detailed for the smaller areas, okay? It's not very intricate to your local areas, what I'm trying to say. It's just a big map about your state or whatever happens in your country, but your state, guys, that's what it is. Like basically a 50, 60, 100,000 foot overview of what you're looking at. Kind of hard to navigate with that. Is it impossible? No. Is it the best? No. Okay, we're going to go one step up. You can go to the DNR, so the Department of Natural Resources, whatever you guys call it in your section of the world. You can go there, you can click on your county, you can print off your county map. Not very good either. It's not very detailed with the whole road system, towns. It does show bodies of water and forest more so, and it is more of a localized area. Just not a whole lot of detail. So we can go one step above that, which I believe is the best option, personally. And that is this, I'm going to slaughter the name, this Delmore, or whatever. You can make fun of my pronunciation of this, guys, because I don't know what it's called. So, this Delmore Atlas and whatever that word is, Gidstier? I don't know, whatever. The thing is, so guys, why I like this book, one, the price point. Okay, I bought this for essentially 25 bucks online. I was actually recommended by a commenter on my old Get Home Bag video. So thank you to whoever that was. I forgot your name, sorry. But what this does, though, is break down your whole state, per se, into little sections that you can sit there and flip to. Say I want to flip to 62 by Atlanta, Michigan. So we're going to flip to 62. This is the detail overall you get. Let me show you guys a little up close. This is the detail of the map. Is it as good as a topographical map, which would be above this, in my personal opinion? No. But what I can see from this is, okay, I can see the borderlines between forest of, state forest and private forest, whatever, which is not really that important to us in this situation. But definitely lowland, waterways, bodies of water, towns, roads, all the fun stuff I actually give two craps about, I can see on this map. Plus, it's big enough where I can lay my compass on, I can work this out, and yes, I understand it's a big book. It's about the size of my chest. But it's lightweight. You can fold it in half if you wanted to. You can throw this in a garbage bag to help protect against the elements, whatever you want to do there, guys. You can carry the whole book, or you can go to the public library, or maybe your works, printer. I didn't do this, promise. But you can use your workplace printer, and you can print off little sections of the map there. The only problem is it's going to be sized to the paper, which is maybe half the size, if not, well, I guess, 2/3 the size maybe of this whole thing. So basically, information is be shrunk down, so the detail is going to be shrunk down. Plus, maybe in color, maybe not, depending on the printer. Personally, I'd rather just carry this book with me anyways. It rides in our family vehicle, just in case, we get lost or whatever. We can flip this open if we don't have cell phone service, so on and so forth, guys. Now, that being said, it does say detailed topographical maps. It's not as good as your typical topographical maps, as in this does not show elevation in the landscape like a topographical map does. It doesn't show roadways, it doesn't show buildings and all this other stuff in that great a detail of topographical map. Now, granted, topographical maps, say, for example, my topo.com, don't sue me for saying this, I personally think they're a little more overpriced than what they're worth for. Plus, to build up a good AO, so area operation, map-wise, you're going to have to spend quite a bit of money, where I can spend $25, which I think nowadays is maybe like closer to 30 online. Again, just Google it. You guys will find it. It's right there on Amazon. You can order it, whatever store you want to order it from. This to me is kind of my go-to option. I don't want to sit there and dwell on like, oh, I got to order this map and this map and this map. I got to have them laminated, stuff like that. Lamination does work because you can use dry erase markers on it, and then you can just erase that note-wise in case you want to keep your shit secret squirrel, whatever. I don't really care. But this stuff to me works just fine for me. So there's that. Now maps, that kind of wraps that up. So what we want besides maps, guys, because cool, we have a map, but we don't know how to resection our map. That is really environmentally dependent. So if you have a lot of very tall hills that break the tree line, sure, you probably resection. Or if you have a lot of open plains and say big landmarkers and you can see that stuff on the map, yeah, you can resection. Here in the Eastern Woodlands, I can see trees in shrubbery. That's about all I got to work with here. Unless I'm going to try climbing a tree, which is very dangerous. I wouldn't recommend that in the first place. Resection is kind of out of the question. That's why it's very important to understand how to use a compass, okay, and a map very effectively, and keep good pace count so you know exactly where you are on the map. At least have a very, very good general idea of where you are on the map. Now, the compass itself, guys, I've said this before, it's the Sunsu MC2. It's one of the most user-friendly compasses I have found in the market to date. My 12-year-old daughter and my 14-year-old son can figure out how to use this, guys. I'm sure us as adults can figure out how to use this as well. There is a plethora of videos on how to use this thing, okay? If you don't want to go with this compass, just make sure the compass you're looking at has a movable bezel ring. That's kind of the biggest thing with compasses. Along with that, it's not some chintzy, like $4 Walmart compass. Actually spend money, get a good reputable company's compass, and you should be fine. Now, I like this one because it does work in inches and centimeters. I talk about this compass more so in detail on my navigation playlist, guys. I'll try to put that up there. And with that, guys, I do talk about the basic use of that compass on there as well and why I like it. Now, it does come with a little magnifying glass, mirror, all this fun stuff, guys. It's easy to use. The biggest thing, too, with compasses, guys, I don't care what style you use, a lanyard, okay? You want a lanyard because you want to keep this inside your shirt. You want to keep this secure around your neck. That's why I'm using bank line, so it's really rigid to use, nice and strong. Plus, if I get choked, I can use my knife and just cut the line, whatever it's going to be. You don't want to use chain or some crazy gangster stuff because that's also going to throw off the compass as well. But what you want is the consistency of distance from your eye to your target window. So if I'm looking at that tree over there, I know this is going to be approximately, I don't know, like a foot or whatever away from my eye all the time, right? Now, do you need a lanyard 100%? I'm going to say no, you don't, because being devil's advocate, you can always sit there and you can wrap that thing around your hand so you don't drop it and lose it. You can sit there and do the pistol sight, because that's going to be consistent measurement there too, is how far away your arm is away from you, because, well, your arm's only so long. And if you do the pistol configuration like this, like you're shooting a pistol, and you point at something, you're always going to have the same consistency. So lanyard to me is number one. Pistol configuration, or I guess form, if you will, whatever, is number two. That's what I recommend. So a good reputable compass, that way we know where we are on the map, understand how to use that tool, guys, okay? Go to a formal class, school, or you can just watch a bunch of videos on YouTube and figure it out yourself. Whichever you want to do, get a navigational book, I don't care. Just educate yourself somehow. Now, cool, we have a map of our area. We know where you are on the map thanks to our compass. We know the direction or bearing we're traveling in. We all know how far we've traveled to and fro our destination. So how far did you travel in that 120 miles to your bug out location? Kind of hard to tell if you're just walking through the woods and like, oh, I think it's been 3 hours according to my wristwatch. I don't know how long we've really walked for, because, you know, yeah, you can walk a 15-minute mile on the open road, but how about the woods? Have you timed yourself doing that? Personally, I haven't, not in a while. So I'd have to redo it again, being honest with you guys. That's where pace speeds come into play. As you guys can see, I'm playing around with these things. So pace speeds, the traditional configuration is like 9 beads over here, 5 beads over here, and you're going to use the metric system with these. You can use the imperial system if you want to. That's fine. Personally, I just use the metric because it's just a hell of a lot easier to figure out. So in order to get your pace speeds going, you need to figure out your pace count. Now, that's quite easy. You measure out 100 meters or yards. Personally, I'd use meters. And you sit there with your EDC, whatever you usually wear, okay, with all the equipment you usually carry, and have your bug out bag, your get home bag, where it's going to be with all the stuff in it, water canteens full, extra clothing you plan on bringing, everything you plan on bringing, put inside that backpack. And you walk along the road or something like that, sidewalk, something safe like that, that's flat terrain. You're going to count out from where you're starting at to the 100-meter mark. How you do that is quite simple, guys. Just real quick in this video. It's not 1, 2, 3. No, that's wrong. What you want to do is this, real quick, okay? Half, don't count, that's 1. So you start on your left or right leg, which one you naturally walk on. 1. That is going to be an approximation of a meter, okay? Approximation. It's better to approximate with that meter than going, oh man, I really don't know how far I've traveled. That's why pace counts. It's not an exact science, so you may be short of your destination, or maybe you'll go past your destination. One of the two, so keep that in mind too. That's why on your map, you need to choose backstops behind your bug out location, your home, whatever it's going to be, whether it's a road, a lake, or whatever it's going to be. That way, if you reach your backstop going, oh crap, I've walked too far, you got to turn around the exact bearing. That's why I like the Sun Tzu here, is because when you put a bearing in, it's got a reverse azimuth right here at the bottom of the compass. Turn that bad boy to the top and you travel right down there and start over again, okay? So pace count. When you figure out how far you've done that for, okay, flat, uneven terrain is like the woods here where it's not, you know, completely flat. It's all uneven, bumpy. Do that, and then you're going to do uphill and downhill. Whatever grade you can find, I would probably Google, like, what's the average hill, incline, or grade in Michigan and try to find a hill like that. Or you can just go to your local area and go, you know what, hey, this is a hill. Driving around here, living around here, I understand it's probably the average hill size or something like that, or whatever kind of incline you want to find. I'd use that and I'd count up and down, right? Okay, again, I'd do this mark to mark 100 times, 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? That way you know for sure, okay, hey, uphill was like 85 paces, and then downhill was 83. Flat terrain was like, I don't know, 62, and then uneven terrain was like 63 or something like that. Find all 4 of those numbers, and you're going to find the average between all 4, okay? Mine happens to be 72. So I understand I don't have to sit there and switch between even terrain and uneven. Oh my God, I can't talk. Even terrain and uneven terrain. I don't have to switch pace counts. I don't have to switch pace counts going uphill or downhill. Would it be more accurate? Yes. Is it more work and on the fly? Yes, it is. So unless you practice this a lot and all the time, probably just best to figure out the average and stick with that number. Just my humble opinion. So there's pace count and pace speeds. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't actually talk how they actually work. Excuse me. Horrible teacher I am. So pace speeds work like this, guys. Say you know your pace count. Again, 72 is mine. I'm going to walk through the woods on whatever bearing it is I'm going to travel on. As soon as I have my left foot hit the 72 mark, I drop a bead down. Okay? They can be wood, plastic, whatever color you want. Doesn't matter. Okay? Drop it down. I've walked 100 meters. I drop all these down after, obviously, I repeat this 9 times. And then on the 10th time, as I drop this, yes, this is going to be clipped to you. The 10th time, you drop one of these other side beads over here, okay? Different color bead, okay? That represents I've walked 1 click, 1,000 meters, okay? Excuse me. That is 0.62 of a mile, okay? I know for a fact that if all these dropped, all 5 of these beads, I've walked 3 miles. That's how you keep track of where you are going. and how long you've how long you've traveled for. So there's that. Now, if you're bugging out and either you don't have a location pricked out or you know, hey, it's just like a 3-4 day travel there. Excuse me one second. You know you can't walk there in a single day, which would honestly probably be the best bug out locations because, well, most people are not going to walk 3-4 days in a certain direction and whatnot into some thick woods to go hide. Most probably aren't. But that being said, though, you know that. So you're going to stop and set up camp. What you can do, depending how you feel about it, you can throw a waypoint. Again, I have this little dog vest. You can use a big orange shirt, a big orange flag, a rescue panel, whatever you want to use, guys. Something you can see as you go explore areas. And what you can go is, okay, I'm going to do the Paul method, for example. I'm going to take my compass. I'm going to put my bag here and have, well, actually probably behoove you to have 2 of these things, or if you're not in a group, you know, probably have 2. If you're in a group, so what? No big deal. Hang this up someplace you can see it, right? And then take another one with you, and you're going to start walking through the woods, and you're going to go, I'm going to go kind of in a big octagon around my campsite, this whole area. You're going to go, see me, Lily, write this down again. So you're going to do the start point, you're going to do the bearing of travel, any notes of things that stand out to you, okay? That way, if you're like, okay, I want to walk, and you're like halfway through your pace count, you look over and there's a big old pond right there, and you see some fish jump out. Okay, cool. Write down pond with fish, right side, say the pace count next to it, like 35 paces from camp or something like that. Just write a note down so you know. Continue around the whole way around, right? I'm just going to quickly kind of just draw this horrible example, right? And pond, stream, you found like a big berry patch, some good down trees for firewood, whatever it's going to be, right? Horrific example here, guys. Again, go check out my navigation playlist. Paul videos in there. So we have something like this, okay? Now, the last leg of Paul, you can actually sit there and shoot straight back to your campsite. That way, you also now have a area map of one you designed, so nobody else can know this stuff but you. You design this map. That way you understand, okay, hey, there's a body of water this way, not too far. There's a berry patch over there, some food over here. There's some good firewood over here, good shelters place over here, whatever it's going to be, right? As soon as you set up your camp, and then you can walk back to your waypoint. Now, we're out and about exploring said Paul map. Make sure you have your waypoint or your signal device, whatever it's going to be, hanging up in a tree, and make sure you keep an eye on that thing. You do not want to lose visual sight of that orange flag or whatever you're flying in the tree there, so you can see it, knowing I'm not going to lose my place. I just have to walk back over there, and I know exactly the bearing I was on, what I'm doing, because you're not going to go leave that flag and mess with your compass. You're just going to leave your compass alone, walk around probably like a 50, 100 meter circle, however far you can see that flag from, and check out the area. That way you can understand the little area map you're going to be in if you have to set up camp for overnight to 2-3 days, wherever it's going to be, right? Whatever your plan is. So that's kind of navigation in a nutshell, guys. Sorry this took so long to explain, but you know, it's just a very important, detailed topic that I really want to get people thinking about. Again, I'm not saying people need to have the same equipment I have. I'm just simply saying I don't want people relying on technology. Understand what good maps are and how to use them with a compass. Along with that, when you guys get out there and practice this stuff, guys, myself included, I'm going to start practicing stuff more so than I already am. So, that being said, guys, thank you for watching. As always, stay frosty, prep up. Yeah, bless. I will see you in the next one, guys.